Yeah, Jeff, one of the things that interested me about your platform and your Rapid Vax initiative is that you formed a task force. And I think that that task force is representative of a partnership opportunity that's perhaps, beyond just funding, right? Like you created a task force of experts from academia, former government officials, right? Public health officials, biothreat officials, to come together for you. And outside of, I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know, maybe they're all maybe they're all generous donors to the Heat Bio cause. But I'm assuming that partnership has got more to do with strategy, direction, intellect, IP. What are some of the partnership opportunities that companies like yours, and John, I'm going to get to you, companies like those that you support, what are some of the partnership opportunities that you seek and nurture that go beyond just a monetary exchange?
So, and that's exactly why we've put together our Biothreat Advisory Board to really address and help really strategize about some of these issues. So there's a number, it's really specific on what a company is actually doing and what they're developing to address what agencies they should work with. With us, we're focused on biodefense, and we actually have a new acquisition. So we announced the acquisition of a biodefense company called Elucis Therapeutics in December. They have an approved anthrax antibody and antitoxin that they sell to the U.S. government, and they work with DITRA and the U.S. Stockpile and other groups to really develop this and sell this. But I think there's a myriad of groups that groups could work with. It's really very dependent on what their focus is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, John and or Adrian, is that something either of you care to weigh in on? Partnership opportunities to further the cause that may go beyond funding.
Yes, Adrian here. Oh,
we'll let Adrian go first.
Go for it, Adrian.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So I think there's a really important tension between private and public initiatives, and whilst I would still propose that for the long-term sort of strategy and resilience, there needs to be some public funding. I think to avoid any confusion for me and certainly Lakes Bioscience, we see the benefit of the private incentive in terms of being performance focused, the agility that we need to bring to the sort of CDMO world, the ability to maintain that innovative and efficient sort of manufacturing capability are all stimulated from being right in the private world. So forget the funding piece. Being in that sort of private world means that you've got to retain all of those elements. There's a potential when when it becomes just a public entity that some of those elements become a little bit dulled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John, you wanted to weigh in on that one as well.
I guess I would just say, try to tell a story of what happened in our community, and because I think it just shows the detail of how many different levels of public-private partnerships are required to make something succeed. So as we talk about manufacturing capacity, back in 2015, our organization released a white paper talking about how our area was well poised to capture part of that manufacturing market. And there was some state-owned land, because one of our limitations was, where do you do that in urban environments? Where do you find the land and the buildings that well suit for that? So we created we hosted a biomanufacturing summit with 70 industry players. We brought together a bunch of public and private partners, including our lieutenant governor. And we announced that we felt there was some state-owned land that should be transferred to create a biomanufacturing park. We built a task force similar to Jeff, where we were able to get 25 stakeholders around a table to advance that project forward. It was finally transferred to a nonprofit real estate development company who did the work, kind of the hard work to get the infrastructure and other pieces ready so that it was finally ready for a market solution. And then now a private developer taken over the project, and the first two manufacturing buildings are under construction. But it's a really complicated piece. It's not just the public-private partnerships. A lot of times it's city, local government, state government, working together with federal infrastructure funding to be able to all come together to create the space to enable some of these technologies to get forward. So, I just think it shows the complexity of how hard it is to really solve some of these manufacturing shortages.